Hello, I'm Andy and welcome to Vectra News, your fill of gaming news for the week of the 31st of January 2015. Coming up in this week's episode, Nintendo launches its creators program for YouTube, and fraudulent Far Cry 4 keys from Origin are revoked. Nintendo has launched its creators program, which shares revenue between YouTube content creators and Nintendo. It can be applied to a single video or an entire channel. This will give the members of the program either a 60% or 70% advertising revenue share respectively. However, the site does say that these rates can be changed arbitrarily. The videos uploaded will take up to 3 business days for registered content to be reviewed and finalised. Furthermore, members of the program must clearly disclose their participation in the video as a caption, on-screen text, or verbally stating that they have a license to use Nintendo's content in the video through the Nintendo Creator Program. The video is not supported or endorsed by Nintendo, but any advertising revenue will be shared with Nintendo. The revenue shared will be calculated from the point of registration, and it will then be sent via PayPal in US dollars, which could take up to 2 months to arrive. Nintendo has been criticised previously in 2013 for claiming YouTube ad revenue share entirely for itself on flagged videos. When someone monetizes a video on YouTube, roughly 40% of the advertising revenue goes to Google. If the person is part of the network, they then take their share. In Vectra's case, it's 20%. The remaining amount of the money then goes on to the creator. So if a video makes £100 in advertising revenue, the person uploading it will see about £48 of this. However, if the video is content ID claimed, then all of this money goes to the claimant. Nintendo's program, as far as I can tell, will work in a similar fashion if you register your channel, and on the surface it seems like a fair shout, although it will be at a lower rate, right? However, due to the fact that it can take up to 3 business days to register content, this means that until Nintendo has approved it, the creator will earn nothing. So technically this means uploading on a Saturday could take up to 5 days to complete this registration. After looking at some video trends, it seems that after, and not always, day 3 of a video being uploaded, views tend to drop off, having reached their peak daily views. So even if a person was partnered with a network offering the same rate of revenue share, they would still be worse off, as up to 5 days worth of revenue would go straight to Nintendo. But also the terms of the program state that the rate may be changed arbitrarily, which could mean that after a video is registered, Nintendo could turn around and actually say, you know what, we'll take 90% of the revenue, thanks. Also, any advertising revenue on any of the videos in the channel will go to Nintendo. So registering your channel and then uploading a vlog, for instance, would mean that 30% of all of the revenue from that video of your face just talking would end up in Nintendo's pocket. The only way to get around this would be to register each individual video and receive a lower share of the revenue. Now, the counter argument to this is one brought up again and again. A game, by all purposes of the law, is the intellectual property of its creator, and a Let's Play video containing that game would therefore not exist without the game. So Nintendo can be seen as generous at letting people profit from the videos. But then again, people generally watch a video for the personality behind it. Having a large YouTube channel cover a game results in free advertising, and a lot of companies have come to an agreement with YouTube content creators who recognise this by stating on their websites that people can monetize their videos. Would Mojang have sold for $2.5 billion if they have decided to claim every Microsoft video on YouTube and told people that they couldn't make content? I would say probably not, although this is pure speculation. One of YouTube's most popular video reviewers, Angry Joe, whose reviews regularly top over 1 million views, posted an angry rant just over 2 weeks ago saying that Nintendo had content ID matched one of his unlisted Mario Kart videos from a stream he had done. Now, as I said before, technically Nintendo do own the footage and therefore they're within their rights to claim it, but really what does that mean for Nintendo? If someone as popular as him can create videos for other games without getting claims and actually generate some money for himself, I wonder what he's going to do. Not only does he make some cash from the video, in turn he essentially is advertising someone else's game to over 1 million people for free, which saves the company a fortune in advertising money. Companies such as Microsoft obviously can see the worth of YouTube, as it has recently revised its rule set for Let's Players, stipulating that if the footage was recorded during normal gameplay, it could be monetized unless it was used to produce content that was pornographic, lewd, obscure, vulgar, discriminatory, or otherwise objectionable. This program also adds some other concern. Videos like reviews and news fall under fair use. If someone were to review a Nintendo game, what's to stop them rejecting this video under their program? And what does this mean? Does the video get taken down, or does all of its revenue just go to Nintendo? This is something that's not clear from their website. If it's the former, then Nintendo could essentially be censoring the market. If they didn't like a review due to the reviewer giving it a bad score, for example, they could take it down. Now, I'm not saying they would, as again, I'm not quite sure what rejecting a video will actually mean for the creator. However, if it was the latter, the person making the video would be in the same situation as they currently are in now and wouldn't receive any advertising revenue from their video. In the last episode of The Spawn Point, we asked if Nintendo was out of touch with modern gaming, and I think this program definitely pushes them into the yes category. This week, Ubisoft has deactivated some copies of Far Cry 4 and has removed them from Uplay. According to an article on Game Informer, Ubisoft provided information to them saying that the deactivated keys had been purchased from EA's Origin store using fraudulent credit card information and then resold through third-party retailers such as Kinguin, G2 Play and G2A. This therefore meant that the affected players were in receipt of stolen property. Given the activities were fraudulent, Ubisoft were well within their rights to deactivate these keys, even if it necessarily wasn't the fault of the player. Were Ubisoft actually being unreasonable for doing this? No, of course not. They have to protect their own business, and if it were a physical item that had been stolen, would the buyer expect to keep it? No, they wouldn't. Generally, the item would be taken as evidence or returned to its rightful owner. It looks like this information has also been confirmed by EA, who urged buyers to contact the vendors for a refund and advised players to buy games from trusted retailers or Origin itself. It seems that Kinguin has received 4,600 customer service tickets, which includes 1,000 copies of Far Cry 4, 450 Assassin's Creed, and under 100 copies of the Crew and Watch Dogs combined package. Kinguin claims that 35 of its 3,400 community merchants have been affected, and all have been in touch with the company, and all that have been in touch with the company will be issuing refunds. Kinguin also explained to Game Informer what they thought happened. Briefly, in official information released by Ubisoft and Origin, both sides claim that fraudulent credit cards were used to acquire Ubisoft keys through Origin's platform. Neither we nor the companies in the market have the possibility to verify these claims. Here is what the merchants have been telling. An unidentified individual from Russia acquired these keys. How exactly, we do not know. These keys have been offered to many merchants in the market. From what we know, the price offered for these keys was so low that most merchants refused to buy goods. 35, mostly minor merchants from Kinguin, accepted the offer. These merchants now claim that their source disappeared and that they were left hanging. All merchants with no exception declared full cooperation and will refund all affected customers, and we at Kinguin would like to thank them for that. They also went on to confirm that this happened before, but not on this scale. Back in May 2014, Devolver Digital actively started cancelling keys purchased from G2A, stating that their games sold there were not legitimate. These sites, however, are technically not illegal and fall into what's called the grey market. The reason you can find brand new games at discounted prices is because they have been bought in territories where game prices have been lowered to reflect the lower purchasing power of the local populace. So far, it seems Valve has only region-locked games from Russia, and they started doing this back in December 2014 to stop people purchasing games cheaper from there. They could decide to either region-lock every game across the globe, which could harm genuine customers, for instance, who move country and emigrate abroad, or they could raise the prices across the store to be the same, which would then in turn harm the gamers in the countries that can play these games because their price reflects their purchasing ability. This then raises the question that would people buying games from these grey market sites actually purchase the same game at its full price through a genuine route? This can in no way be confirmed, but I would probably lean towards no. With today's financial market, people are trying to save money in any way possible, and playing video games is an expensive hobby. If sites like G2A or Kinguin are shut down due to either a regional lock or a one pricing policy, where would these people go? Would they simply just wait for the games to go on sale, or would they pirate the games instead? If they decided to pirate the games, then surely the grey market is actually a more legitimate way to get hold of the games. At least that way, content creators are receiving some of the money. Either way, for the moment, these grey market sites are here to stay, but these things will sometimes happen, and that is the risk that you run if you decide to venture down this route. But that's all from Vectra News this week. Don't forget to like, favourite, subscribe, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and check out vectranews.co.uk to keep up to date with everything in the network. Also, just in case you missed it, over the next few weeks we will be having a temporary co-host on the spawn point just as Steve is moving house at the moment, and that is Ebby, also known as Bizarre Jelly 5 on the internet. So be sure to check that out. But until next week, goodbye.